Welcome to the molybdenum software show. Let me pause Jeremy's upload, and Rob probably has better internet.
How does that work? I don't even know. Does it tell you, or are you just assuming?
We'll see. If I don't see your screen well, then I'll pause your upload.
Okay.
If you like this, consider if you're watching and you like it, consider whether you'd be interested in joining us, because we can have some more members in this activity. Just message me. Rob, why don't you take the helm?
Okay, taking the helm. So let's see. Then let's see. Don.
Sorry.
Yeah, you want me to take command and you take the helm, or do you want?
I'll give Jeremy command.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see your screen, Rob.
Okay. And then I'm just writing down the order. Okay. All right. Sharing my screen. Screen. There we go. All right. And let me start the timer. Actually, do I need to be on a special branch, or can I just do mob? I can't start till I'm on a particular mob branch, yeah?
Yeah, you need to be on our mob branch or
Yeah.
the base branch before you run mob start, I think.
Yeah. Origin, hold on. Let's just make sure nothing new. Okay. Done. Do we have a mob branch at the moment?
Think not.
Okay.
But you can always start your timer. Our timer.
So was a mob timer.
7.
So I do mob start, it's gonna assume I'm on the branch, yeah?
Yes, if you do mob start on main, then you'll find yourself on mob main.
Yeah.
Mob timer 7.
Okay. Let's do that. Okay. I can't remember. Is there mob branch?
There's no mob branch.
Get branch.
Yeah, I guess what I'm asking is, should I use the mob tool, or do you want us to use git and create a branch? But I'm assuming we want to use the mob tool just to handle that for us. Mob branch start.
I don't know how to create a mob branch without using Git to create a base branch.
It doesn't have this feature.
It doesn't. Okay.
But can we check the branches in Origin first? Because
yeah,
I just want to make sure. Origin poem should be gone. Maybe if you do a git remote prune.
Yeah. Is it just prune, or is it an option?
I think prune will prune all Origin, all remotes. Nope. Git
Wouldn't the
remote
fetch
prune
be
Origin.
enough for that?
No.
Depends on if you have prune on fetch or fetch.
Yeah, I don't.
There's an option for that. To do prune space Origin. There we
go. Nice. Yeah, so we don't have anything
Okay.
else.
Great. So yeah, let's start a branch. And I think our goal here today is to take attempt 2 at creating a test macro. now that we've
Okay.
reworked the ownership and lifetimes of things.
Does that seem okay? Test macro,
Love it.
everybody?
But don't call it
Uh,
mob. Just call it test macro.
Oh, okay, because mob will take it over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now mob start.
Mob start.
Dash create
What?
because
Ah. There it goes. Okay, cool. All right, where to?
so I think if we open up the API tests, we can sort of do
Okay.
some coding by wishful thinking to figure out what we want the macro to look like.
API tests. Just you want just a new file
Actually,
essentially?
notify is kind of a funky one. Maybe if we go to the just, I think the API test might be inline in the lib.
Yeah. In lib.
no,
Yeah, so
it's test.
Yeah.
never mind.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so the weird stuff that Shahar and I have talked about, like ideally
Mm-hmm.
getting rid of here is just you have to be indented 3 layers before you even start writing
Mm-hmm.
your damn test. Like this health check okay really is 2 lines of code, right? It's query this URL, assert on the response. Then we've got
Sure.
all this boilerplate about like async move, boxed, test context with the weight. So I think like our dream would be to have a test macro that
Mhm.
defines this surrounding code for us. And so I think the like just to throw out something we tried, it was like going to be like, I don't know, API test bang, curly braces, and then like the 2 lines of code in the test.
Mhm.
And then the problem with that, and maybe if you just start typing this so we can be like
Yeah.
concrete about it,
So you said API
underscore test,
underscore.
bang, curly, and then that would be like the block that we'd put our actual test in. And you just like
Okay.
hit
There's something in
enter
there.
and yeah, maybe
Yeah.
just put the 2 lines of code in there.
Yeah. So you want like just this.
This one's moderately more complicated because it's a 3-line test.
Oh,
Let's
sorry, that one.
do the one
Okay.
above.
Let's do the
Yeah.
one above. Yep. Okay.
But I don't think it'll ever be just these 2 lines because CTX needs to come from somewhere.
Yeah. So I was trying to motivate the
Yeah.
issues. But like this is sort of in my mind the platonic ideal.
Mm-hmm.
The issues with this are there are at least 2. One is this is just like invalid Rust in the sense
Mhm.
that you can't possibly write a macro to make this code work because it's referencing a variable called CTX, which just does not exist in the scope. And I don't think it's possible to write a macro that would make CTX exist, which I
Mhm.
actually think is a good Rust feature. I'm glad that that's possible. The other issue is we haven't given the test a name. So this thing we could write an API test macro that like defines an async function under the hood,
Mhm.
but it would have to give the thing a name, and the name would have to be like, unique because we're going to use this thing multiple times in this file.
This kind of macro cannot do that. Macro, by example, cannot make unique things.
So I don't remember
Unique
how we were going to
identifiers.
fix either of those issues, Shahar. So I'll let you talk now.
The name of the test we just explicitly passed as input to the macro.
I don't remember the syntax we used for that.
After the curly, we placed just the name of the test as an identifier. Health check, okay.
Okay.
That's there now, but now it's not distinguished from nothing now encapsulates delineates the body of the test. And we still have the context not being defined anywhere. It could be something like comma and then closure that where context would be the parameter.
Okay, so this would kind of look like a macro that takes 2 arguments.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds reasonable.
Rob, do you have the
Should we rotate?
timer window
It
open?
went off. I don't think I have it in my. I don't have a window yet, but it went off in my headphones.
All right. I hand off
Right.
command to you, Rob.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy. Taking command. Don, would you mind sharing your screen?
Please mob next.
And we mob next. Yes.
Not before you
Mob
save.
next. Okay, mob nexted.
Devin. Full man. Exec this thing. Switch to test macro. Start. Editor. Test. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Something like this and CT. X. And then this. Lo and behold, we have created another, like
Too
some
many
more
curlies.
indentation. Right?
Oh no, not too many curlies. I'm crazy. Love it.
Well, here. I'm sure I'm supposed to format this myself. Here it is. That's
This at least makes
kind
sense
of
to me.
reasonable.
I don't know enough Rust to know if it's possible to write a macro that makes this work.
Okay, macro rules, API test. I think I already see a little problem is that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that we can make this async, but we'll see because this has an await here.
So we might need the async keyword.
Insert the async keyword here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a closure that returns an async block, which might mean that we would need a move here, probably. But let's try it before. So what's inside here is name. This way, that would be an ident, comma, and then the test itself.
Yeah.
Which is a expression. Right at this moment, it's an expression. If I save it, it's consumed. The tokens are consumed. Now we can expand them to something like Tokyo test, async fn name, no parameters, body, test context width, maybe just the expression, but what about the box and such? So I don't think that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
With there's already this also needs to be async, but because it needs to return an async, box, something like that. Async. And then that's where we can use call our test, and actually call it. And maybe await it as well.
Do we have to pass CTX
Oh, boy.
as a parameter?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Now we have some errors. We have both that the closure is
So do we need to call await after the like test context with returns a future, right?
Yep. With test context with not just await, but also the semi here. And if we observe how it's formatted. Okay.
All right.
This is an easy
Give it a
one.
unique name.
We just comment this whole thing out.
Mm-hmm.
Now the only error that we have, there's no annotation here.
Okay.
That there must be annotation. I don't know why. I could try. This should be a test context. Now we get borrow checking.
Okay.
Async block may outlive the current function, but it borrows CTX, which is owned by the current function. This can be solved with move, I imagine. And it's implemented.
Boom. Okay. So
Wow.
we lost one layer of indentation.
Let's test it. Cargo tests. The API. I don't think that's necessary. Just health. So we have okay and not okay passing.
Okay.
I want to panic here. You see that it also fails. Back to the argument. Oh, sorry. Panic macro. Seems like it.
Compiling.
This is a different, some panic function. Good. And
I think we should
not
rotate.
okay. It takes time.
Don, I'll pass you command.
Jeremy the helm.
Get fetch origin. Check out. Test macro. Start. Timer's going. API test. All right. So that works. Do we think it's worth it? Our test is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code, and it's lost a layer of indentation. Previously, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we almost cut that test in half.
I mean, it looks a lot more like is more comprehensive. At least it feels like it is. Just looking at
Yeah.
the test.
I really wish we could do something like this, you know? I'll check OK. And then lose the,
Hmm.
I guess that doesn't really reduce the boilerplate much, or it doesn't reduce the indentation. But, Shahar, what do you think? Is this like a change we should make to all our tests in this file and call this mob branch done?
I think it's progress.
Should I update all the tests, or do we want to iterate on this macro a bit more first?
I think, is it clear that that's the name of the test? To our station, it might be.
I don't know. I'm not deep enough in Rust to.
Yeah, I think.
Does it support formatting if you in the closure?
Let's see. Excuse me. That does not look promising. Let me confirm that yeah, I don't think it does. See how that just formatted?
Yes.
But up here it did not. That's a point against it.
Try replacing the curlies with square.
The curly. These right here?
Yes.
Okay. Change the delimiters to curly braces. Did I ignore that?
It's two options.
Follow with a semi.
Yes.
Got it. Hey, oh, we achieved my dream of one layer of indentation. That makes me happy. And we get formatting. That's a win-win in my book.
Why does that work?
Why did the macro not need
Yeah.
to change?
Well, notice in the macro we're not matching on the braces.
Sure. I guess I thought that was implicit rather than unspecified.
It's implicit and agnostic.
Okay. Well, I quite like that because now our test really is opener, closer, 2 lines of test. That makes me much happier. It's like a little awkward here, but I don't know. It's not bad.
We could try a little. I don't know if it's working. We could try. Yeah, I think it's like point of diminishing return. I still think we should probably go for a even higher level abstraction. But
Yeah. So let's have that conversation rather than just updating all the tests, because I think it might make sense to go straight there rather than make this change and then make the change you want to make.
Yeah, we could try implementing another macro.
Okay, so that was cool. Let's go one layer of abstraction higher. For Nixers, we don't like imperative code.
Make another variant of the same test.
Yeah, so this is going to be like declarative API test. We'll come up with a better name for it. We're going to have to give it a name, but maybe we're going to use curlies now. And it's going to be like this, and then it's going to be something like, setup, which here will be null, or, fixtures or seeds or something. Like, come up with a name for that. And then it's going to be like action, which is going to be like something like that.
I think that optional items can simply be omitted.
Sure. I'm just trying to like explain what the shape of this thing is going to be. And then like, I don't know, assertion is going to be like, status. Okay, I'm just making stuff up here.
Yeah, something like this. Perhaps the action could be something like an array of pairs of, like, I mean, currently we only have get, so maybe we don't need to
But you're
make
thinking
that
about
more
like
complex.
in the future we would need like post or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a list, nonetheless of could possibly be multiple actions. So how
It
about
could.
just remove the post, and that would pretty much be it.
Action.
But the actions, it's
rotate.
actions coupled with assertions. Jeremy, take command.
Okay, Rob,
All
take the
right.
helm.
Taking the helm.
It's actually, it's a list, which is a pair of actions and assertion, followed by assertions.
Where were we? API tests.
Or maybe it's arbitrary. It's like,
Well, you're just getting into inventing Rust again, right? Like that's what each line of code is in a Rust program. It's some arbitrary thing. Maybe an action, maybe an assertion, maybe a setup. And this is where, to give a little context on this, Rob, I'm like skeptical about this approach, but we wanted to try it out to see if we're happy with where this lands.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, like, you know, I'm this is all new to me, so I'm happy to, you know, just kind of.
And my hypothesis is that like if we build a very opinionated like setup, action, assert, and that's it, maybe there's like, you know, some juice to be squeezed here. But I think that if we like try to go too generic on this, we're just going to be like creating a DSL that's more awkward than Rust. But I don't know. So
have we seen some other tests that have more meat in them?
So let's just keep going down here. PR not landing. That one looks like it's a little more complicated.
So there's a setup section there, and there's definitely potential to dry that up if we have like a nice setup DSL that says like, let this PR be in the database.
I think we don't have enough motivation at the moment.
Sorry, am I sounding too down?
No, not emotionally. Not enough test material here to motivate us to improve the situation.
Yeah, so PR says PR landings. That's kind of this, a little more. That's it. There's really.
I think this is fine. It would be a little nicer with the macro we already implemented, and that's it.
Works for me.
Okay. So let's update the rest of these then.
Sure.
What it sounds like. Okay. So just for my own understanding, so we have this first test here, which is mirroring what was done in the first health check OK test. But is this just the name? Like this API test is just, that's the name of the use of the macro? Like, and like those would all have to be unique?
This
Or
is an
the
invocation of a macro called API test.
Yeah.
The macro is defined a little bit above.
Yeah, so the
It's
macro's
okay.
above. Mhm.
It's okay to invoke macros multiple times, like
Oh,
a macro
okay.
with a given name.
Okay, so
But
you
the
don't
thing
have
the
to.
macro does needs to like produce, semantically valid Rust code.
Sure.
And so since this macro defines a function,
hmm
if it always defines a function with the exact same name, then you kind of can only
Oh,
use it one time.
okay. Now I'm seeing that. Okay.
So you see how that async fn in the macro definition
Yeah, right
uses
here.
a variable for the name of the function it produces. Yeah, that's
Yep.
it.
And then we're passing that as okay, and that's this. That ends up being he'll check okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay, now I see that. Thank you. That makes that a lot clearer to me. Okay.
Sweet.
So let's go ahead and we don't need this anymore. And then let's
Bye-bye.
just get that out. And what do we have here? Oh, I guess it's the same name pretty much, huh?
Health check not okay.
Not okay. And then let's grab. Should this be all of this? So the
Yep.
3 lines?
Those 3 lines, I
Okay.
think, are the meat of the test.
And then I don't think I have my formatter here.
Well, you could do next funct.
Oh yeah, I guess at the end of this, huh? So I just won't worry about it then. Okay. Let's see you later for that. And then let's get to the next one.
Perhaps instead of API test, it could be just test.
You want to just call it
Yeah,
test?
if we leave it in this file, I think that's totally reasonable.
Okay.
Or maybe not, because we're in a crate called API. Like, we could move it out and it'd still be a reasonable name.
Well, so what do we think?
I like
Is it
that.
worth
Test
the
bank.
test? Okay. Sure. Sure. Yep, that's all good.
Execute.
Okay. What is it not like here? Borrow context, mutable, declared as mutable.
So I guess, unlike the first test, we're doing something mutating to the context. So we probably have to have the mute keyword one line above, where we
Okay.
declare CTX. I'm not sure where it goes. Maybe before CTX. Okay, great. And now
Yeah.
it's just complaining
And
about
that's just not my copy. Okay. Cool. Thank you. All right. Don't worry about that. All right. Should we rotate? Or I can keep. See what was that? That was not okay.
maybe rename that, delete the thing, and then
Yeah.
rotate.
PR not found. There we go. And then I'll get rid of this and then we'll rotate.
Love it.
Okay.
I hand
Next.
command to you, Rob.
All right. All right. Dawn, would you mind sharing your screen? Go.
I think you can delete that commented out test at the top if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
We are not landed.
Love it.
Contents of the async block.
Yes. Beautiful.
Seems like it.
Mm-hmm.
Contents of the async block. We are landed.
Beautiful.
All right.
The next file.
I don't think we get to benefit from it here, unfortunately, because this uses database context.
Cool. Cargo test.
And I mean, I suppose possible we could create a corresponding macro for database context, but I don't think it's worth it, given that it's only used as a test in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Test context itself is not used anywhere else now, is it?
That's not unique to this PR, though, right? That was already the state of the world.
Test context is used within its own implementation. It's used in the yup. So I think that means that we don't need such a struct, do we?
I mean, we could move this definition into the file where it's used, but it still seems like we need a struct.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I think.
Are you thinking we'd invoke these tests with 2 arguments or something?
Yes. This could be a function that doesn't need to be a struct anymore. This could be a. We don't want to write a lot of code here, because writing code in a macro implementation is not very nice.
Okay.
It's more difficult to debug. But basically this is a construct. It has a single. It's like it's a struct with 2 fields and an associated function. It's not even a constructor. So this test context, the only place it lives is it's here for passing it onto the provided test, and then here in each of these tests.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point for the existence of this struct.
Well, part of the benefit of the struct is we have an explicit lifetime on these 2 things, the 2 fields, right? Like they get dropped together.
There's very little change. I mean, if you control the invocation of the test, then what's the difference between passing a struct that you just made up with these 2 fields and
Yep.
being
No,
applied?
makes sense. I mean, my understanding of Rust is it would be possible for people to drop the 2 arguments independently. Not that, I mean, that would be like a weird thing for them to choose to do, but they could.
Yeah, you're right about that. But in a sense, that would might allow us to implement the SD notify, maybe. I'm not sure, or is that the completely different?
We have the
Here we
health check
only
not
need.
okay. which could probably get implemented by like dropping the DB context or something.
Oh, sorry, that's actually what I meant. Yeah, that where we kill the DB,
Yeah.
and then we don't need this method kill DB. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe, probably. Don't want me to. But that could be an incremental improvement. It's a suggestion that by no means would prevent us from committing this.
Okay.
So here's the diff.
All right.
There's a macro, and then
I love all
these,
that red.
yeah, mostly red and just a little bit of green.
Love it.
Okay, so I'm
That's a
doing a
win in my
mob
book.
done here.
Mhm.
And git commits. This would be sure in the tests. API test macro. In which case, sorry. No need for that. Good?
Love it.
Yeah, sounds good. Good place too, because you can rotate.
It is pushed.
All right. Don, I'll pass you command.
Jeremy take the helm. And don't mob start because we don't have the mob branch anymore.
Yep. Have we created a PR?
No.
Oh, that's weird. Have we done a mob done?
Mob done and committed, but
Mhm.
no PR. I only pushed it.
Okay. This notifications out of date. All right. Test macro. Compare and pull request. Nope. Stop doing it with mob branch. There we go. All right. Here we go. Create pull request. Okay. And it's confirming that this is the diff we just looked at. Yep. Macro changed and then a lot of it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Great. And the summary here is 85 lines gone, 59 lines added. Great. All right. Did we have an issue for this? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. What do we want to do next in the list here?
Remove the test context. Can we do that?
I'd be fine with not doing it, but it'll be quick and easy. So your call, Shahar. I should also start the timer, sorry.
Which issue is that?
I don't think we have an issue for this. This is an idea Shahar just had
Oh,
to
okay. All right. Sorry.
drop the
I was
test
like,
context.
So now I know I don't see it being useful anymore. Does that make sense?
I kind of like that we only have to explicitly type hint one thing with the macro we have right now.
You mean one parameter?
Exactly. Whereas if we
Oh.
add a second parameter, we're going to have to type hint both of them.
Okay. But still the way that the function is associated with it, it's kind of nah, I'm okay with it.
Great.
Now we can have another Now we can have another test for the Open API.
Another test for the Open API.
Yeah, that's why we refactored the tests.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start working on documenting the HTTP API. And I don't think we have a mob branch for this yet.
We might have had one.
I don't think there was anything in the.
We
At
looked
least
at all the
nothing
branches.
pushed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do it. Okay. Full. And check out -b Open API. Sorry. All right. Nope. There we go. There we go. All right. Shall we create a new test file for this, or shall we put it in the existing test file?
I would say new.
Okay. If we're going to do that, then do we need to find a... Oh, wait, I'm not looking at the right code. Oh, sorry.
It's not merged yet.
It has not merged yet. Duh. Okay, that's fine. I can do
So
a...
there was a. I don't know if you guys read this article. It was on. I should have on Lobsters. I don't know, a couple days ago, but it was talking about stacking, like when you just create another branch off of a, like an open PR or just an existing branch you had, and then like how to update those, like cascading.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like in these scenarios, it's pretty useful. I can see if I can find the article, but it was
I
the
did
flag
that.
was like, did you try it out?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, it's like update refs or something. The flag's been there for a while. I just didn't know about it.
I think Jeremy did that. I think it might have done it with Jeremy as well, right?
Okay. I think that's
Well,
what
I
it's
don't know about
called.
this feature to do it. I've done this like extremely manually with like
Yeah.
Rebase Interactive.
Yeah, that's so what's kind of cool is it like helps to not have to do it all, you know.
Yeah, that's
Is it
lovely.
is that the one?
I'm guessing what it
Yes.
does.
That's yes, this is the article.
Oh, cool. Neat. Yeah. Well, let's get ourselves a... I mean, either way, we have to stack it and then the rebasing.
Mhm.
We're not going to
Yeah,
be really benefiting from, I think, what that article's talking about, because like what'll happen is this PR will land and then we'll just rebase our mob branch on top of main.
yeah. Oh, I'm just thinking in case I don't know if someone else has any things they want us to fix up, right? Then you could, I guess you're gonna fix them up and merge them, and then we'll just rebase anyway. But yeah, you could get that stuff. It's a pretty slick feature that I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea about.
Yeah, I'm guessing what it does, but I have like thirsted for that feature. I did not know
Yeah.
about it. Okay. So here we are. If I reload here, yep, we got our test macro. Life's great. And we will move this macro somewhere. Where does it go?
Test util.
I
Okay.
say this be considered a utility.
Oh, we already have a test util. Wonderful. Nice when that works out. And then will this thing understand how to import it from somewhere?
Macros are not imported per se.
What do you do with them? How do you get your
Take a look
hands
at
on
the
them?
hint.
Have you added macro use on the module /import?
Oh, so on line 2,
Okay.
do you just put that in front of? Yeah, at the top. Okay.
I don't know. So let's say like make
Huh?
all the macros from this module available here.
Yes, because macros have a scope of their own. It's not a tree scope, is it? They're not. It's probably a tree scope, but they're not explicitly imported. They just
Okay.
they're automatically imported. They kind of exist in the module, and all the modules that import that module.
Okay.
But this is true for these macros, macro by example.
Oh, but for proc macros, it's a different story.
It's a very different story. Yes, proc macros are imported like functions because they are functions.
Okay. What do we want to call it? OpenAPI dot like tests / OpenAPI or something else.
Yeah, exactly that.
Great.
Sounds good.
And then we'll have a silly test here, which is a repeat of another one. Test. This warning, field TB is never read. Saw something fly by. Okay, great. Is that just old?
Yes, because in this,
Right, we learned about this. Okay, so now we're using this over in OpenAPI, and we're not. This counts as like a fresh module definition or something. And
target compilation target.
okay, got it. Bummer. Okay. Should we just wait and see on that? Maybe we'll end up using it, and this will go away.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I'm at time.
Jeremy, take command.
Okay, Rob, let's see your screen.
All right. Let's see, where am I? No longer there. Let's see, I'll just let's just get an API. Okay, mob start at 7.
Great.
And yeah, that looks good. Okay, and then we were let's see. We were in Open API. All right.
Yeah.
So we're trying to. You said it was a document, or we're testing the Open API?
I think we're gonna test it. I guess test the documentation of the API, aka testing the OpenAPI implementation.
Okay.
Well, see that we have an endpoint in which we simply serve some HTML.
Okay.
Or I think there'll be an endpoint that serves up the JSON that is the OpenAPI definition. And
Gotcha.
then separately, there'll be like a little API playground HTML page. And so then the question is, what is the path of that JSON file? And I think it's kind of up to us, right, Shahar? We tried to figure out what was idiomatic, and I think it's often called OpenAPI.json.
So
Docs
as far as
slash.
Yeah, docs/OpenAPI.json.
OpenAPI.json. Oh, OpenAI. API.json. Something like that.
Yep.
Okay. And then probably change it to not be health check okay, but I don't know.
Yeah. Has OpenAPI JSON.
Yeah. I don't know. That all right?
And I suppose we could assert that it's like JSON. I don't like that it's parsable JSON. I don't know.
I thought there was an assertion for that. I don't think I have anything built into
We're
show me what's
probably
here.
parsing responses as JSON in the other tests file. Maybe we could take something from there.
Okay. Tests SRS.
That's the one.
Okay, let's see. I open this. I can't just go back via next, huh? That's okay. That's easy enough.
Control caret is what you want.
Okay. Next time, control caret.
Or maybe I don't understand the question you asked.
I was thinking, yeah, if I want to open this, but basically put it as a separate file so that I could just go like previous. So it was like I had two files open and I could flip
Wait.
between them.
So that didn't open?
No, it just took me there. It didn't actually open it up as an additional file. But there it is. It's assert JSON. Oh, I guess that's looking for a specific format.
So I think next is maybe about is that cycling between buffers?
I think it's a queue. It's when you open like with a list of path arguments from the command. Then it queues up files for editing. Maybe that's what it's for.
Because like if I do this and I just say open the changelog, then I'm pretty sure I can just go back. Oh no, not that either. Why can't I? Jeez.
So if you run :buffers, what do you see?
Buff?
Plural.
Nothing. Buffs.
Buffers.
Buffers.
Yeah,
What's
so
that?
you've got 3 buffers.
Yeah.
And I don't think next and prev are the way to cycle between your open buffers.
So what would be?
Well, I don't know if there's a nice built-in for Vim.
That's maybe that.
I use FZF to go through my buffers, but I'm positive Telescope has something.
Yeah, it does. I think it's actually, you know what? Hold on. There it is.
Yep.
So it's FB, leader FB. Okay. Nice. Well, that's today I learned that.
And then the other thing maybe learning 2 things is too much, but I really like having an easy way to just toggle between 2 buffers.
And
control caret is the built-in way of doing that, but I remapped it because I found it a little awkward.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it's like control 6. Sorry, I think it's control 6.
Yeah, control 6. Yeah. So that's cool. That is awkward though.
Yeah. So I did leader. For me, that's space, just toggles between 2.
In a way, 6 makes sense. The same way that watch your 6 makes sense.
Well, there's
That's
stuff.
a good mnemonic.
Yeah, there's stuff that you just you end up learning the default for, and then you're like, well, it's too late now. So like maybe before I make that muscle memory, I'll change it to something else. So I guess back to what we were looking at, those assert JSON. So is that kind of what we're looking for, or
Maybe.
is this just asserting a certain
We don't want to
structure?
assert the full value of the JSON though, so
Yeah.
that would be a lot.
There's a type for arbitrary JSON.
Okay. Let's see, what is
And then we could
context?
try to read one property off of it or whatever.
Okay. Well, I think rather than having you go and look at it, should we rotate, and then I'm sure Don's editor will have a nice slick way to bring that up.
All right, I'll hand command
Okay,
to you,
let's
Rob.
see. All right. Let's see. Mob next. All right, Don. You take the helm.
C7 main full. It didn't merge it.
We didn't set auto merge.
I actually did in secret.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I was wondering if it was just leave it open for somebody else to review. Like, we didn't want to merge it with, not everyone being here, or just getting, an extra set of eyes or whatever.
No, we're the team.
Yeah.
Bring in the assert JSON example. Okay. Well, I don't think. I'm not sure search it. So let's say we have, don't know. We can't really assert JSON because that's an entire value by equality.
Right.
Can't really do that. But we could try to obtain the JSON somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even test. Oh, look, there's a thing called test JSON.
I think we should leave the assert okay in there. I would leave that and then validate the JSON.
Oh.
Yeah, because we want to see that it's a good response.
So now we have a what test JSON.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do anything with it. I mean, we could assert that it's like, I don't know, what is it, an array? We could assert that's greater than 0, but
Not empty.
I don't think we have to. I think just parsing it is enough. I mean, I don't know. Is there like some well-known key, like a version, like OpenAPI version number?
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Why don't we see what it is after
Yeah.
we obtain it? Just debug it.
Sure.
So that's that.
Love it.
Let's run it.
Do we need
See
the
it
test
fail.
to fail to see the debug output?
Well, we won't see it yet. It'll fail earlier.
Sure. But once we get it returning JSON, will we actually see the debugged JSON? Because wouldn't we need the test to fail to see the output?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably something with no capture.
Got it.
Would do
That'll
the
do it.
trick, even if it succeeds. How about we call it just JSON?
I guess it's already in OpenAPI, so that makes sense.
Now we can go poem.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Actually implementing it.
API. Wait a minute. There, readme. Blah. This requires a change to how we define our API.
Mm-hmm.
There's a struct API, and then it has an impl on which we add this open API attribute. How does this compare with what we currently have?
Fairly different. We're like adding the
Right.
routes in a very different way.
At and at.
Yeah.
Correct. So instead of that, we would have
We feed it an
app is from
route new,
there's a
and then we
nest.
call nest. Okay.
App is probably just another endpoint, so this will be something like another at, right?
I thought it was
App.
nest.
Here, run the app, route new. Okay. Nest at the roots.
So I guess the UI goes at the root and the API goes under /API. But not really sure I understand what /API. Is that where they're serving
We
up
do
the open
two of
API?
them. I see.
Like
API.
we might want API service as the open API service, but we're already using API for something different.
Where does app come from? App come from this. Struct API. Where is it used? Here. So API service is also includes our actual.
Okay, great. Then let's just copy this and see what it does.
You suggest I take this?
Oh, sorry, I just mean copy the pattern.
Oh.
Like, let's put API service under /API and
Next.
All right. Don, take command.
Jeremy, take the helm.
Okay. Start 7. Okay. Home open API. Nope. Wrong thing. All right. API /lib, and we've got like a nest call right here. Okay. So /API is going to take API service. We'll do that here. That'll take API service, and then slash.
That's not what we are actually doing. That's not what we have planned.
What do we have planned?
We don't mean to change. Actually, what? We do have API, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's our
do.
path? I don't. API, and then we have v1 as well.
Yep. But I think that's fine. We can just have /v1 /, or we could even do API v1, I guess. and avoid repeating it over and over again. But I mean, how we structure this really depends on how we want to structure things when we implement, if we ever implement a V2.
Then put it here.
Okay. Slash V1. All right. And now we need a API service. So that's this thing right here. We're going to have to give it a proper name. That's a proper base URL at some point. So I'll just leave it to do there. Okay. Open API service. Nope. Where's that come from? Here. Oh, do we need to add this crate or something?
Most likely.
Okay. Do that. All right. And then
You could
API.
just remove the empty line 10.
Will the auto formatter not do that?
I think it might be coerced into doing that.
All right. Here's our API view. And now it wants those other things that I just deleted. Yeah. Open API. There we go. Oh, where does UI come from? API service.swagger UI. Boom. Right. I also assume hello world 1.0. This is like the service name or something. Those are gonna also need some love. Let's leave some to-dos there. Okay. All right. OAI. Really? OAI. Okay, so that's a detail of the macro, which is not going to make any sense to us until we get this stuff added. So, okay, API cargo. Poem. We're going to add a, does this have feature? How do we get our hands on this thing?
Another crate.
Okay. Is this thing telling me how to add it somewhere?
It's the name of the import.
Poem-open API. We use star in this project, and we want Swagger UI.
Maybe. Do you remember what we decided? I think we did review them.
I remember that, and I don't remember what we decided we preferred. I think they were all lame in different ways. Just not to say I could do better.
Well, let's try Swagger UI.
Yep. Okay, I'm doing poem open API param query, I assume is the one we want. I don't know how many other, unfortunately, queries also struck from SQLX. And this is poem API. We're not actually going to return plain text in our real APIs. Okay. There we go.
Just take one of our handlers and replace that index with it.
Okay. On it. Here we go. Landed. This is going up. I'll take it.
Actually,
Here.
instead of moving this, could you leave it there and then wrap those with that impl?
Wrap what with the impl?
That function landed, and under it there's another function, another handler, right?
Yes.
Wrap them with an impl, exactly.
Okay, sure.
And then put the API struct right over it just for OCD.
That's this thing right here. Way. No. I guess I don't really need this here. It's over on the right half of my screen. Great. All right, poem handlers.
Remove those. I think now
They instead need to be a hashtag OAI. And this is going to specify the path now. So that's kind of fun. Flash health. Nope. Flash :PR, I guess. And this one will be flash health check. Okay. Have fun with that, math. Mob next.
Great. All right.
Jeremy, take command.
Rod, let's see your screen.
Taking the helm. Mob S7. And where were we?
API lib.
API lib.
Just follow the compilation errors.
Yes. Come on, Nick. Oh, there he goes. That's why I was taking. I was like, "What's taking so long?" Okay. Where to start? Okay. So you start at the top. So let's see, the trait-bound API open API is not satisfied. The following other types implement trait open API. Okay. Same thing for those. Okay. So
I think we could comment out the two ats down below. We don't need those anymore.
those are no longer.
Delete or comment, I guess.
Yeah. Let's just comment them out for now.
The trait is supposed to be implemented. OpenAPI is supposed to be implemented for API. Is there any other error anywhere?
Yeah. Down here on poem,
There
which
it is.
that's what it is, huh? Okay, so the first parameter must be and self receiver.
Okay.
Okay, so
So it's supposed to take amp self as the
yeah,
first argument.
and that's gonna be right here for path.
No, before it.
Oh, before it.
The first parameter of landed.
Oh, I see. Okay. So it's like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can
Okay,
do the
must
same
be
to.
synchronous. So is this just in front of this async? That or
Before function.
before the function? That makes more sense. Okay.
Then add amp self.
Oh, needs to be, and that's okay. So
This is an example of a macro that has some explicit error messages.
That's nice.
so invalid param definition. Did I put that in the wrong place or
No, that seems right.
okay?
Is it like this macro knows how to parse these things and its part doesn't understand this construct here?
Possibly underscore doesn't it's not supported.
Can you try changing this to look exactly like the DB connection parameter up above, Rob? The one in the previous.
Sure. Let's see. Where's
Or just call it underscore DB.
Okay.
okay?
So that's arguably a bug in the macro.
Possibly.
Okay, and then this. So The trade bound API is not satisfied by the following other types. Okay, so that's stream. Event
It's
stream.
supposed to
Probably
be.
can't return a poem result. It probably needs to be like an open API struct,
Yeah.
response struct of some sort.
Yeah.
Should I bring up the docs for that?
I think so.
Poem. Hmm.
Because like by the time you're dealing with a poem response, I guess you maybe lost structured information that Open API needs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's probably not going to see the
So
examples here.
plain text is one option, right? But to see the other types, you have to go to the API docs, not just the README.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's go to the docs.
I think
Quick
maybe
start is probably what
modules.
we already read, right?
I'm assuming. Here, let's just see what quick start looks like.
Plain text, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Modules.
Auth. You scroll past
Oh,
modules.
sorry. Auth. Oh, okay. Nah, yeah.
Auth
You're right.
error. It probably won't be under auth. Error macros param. Maybe para. No, that's parameter payload types.
We want a response.
Let's see whether types. Structs under types is all of these. So where does text, plain text, just search for plain text in the field?
Yeah, I like that.
Let's find crate.
Scroll all the way to the top.
Yeah. Is there a? Oh, I see. Okay. Plain text.
Payload.
Okay,
Awesome.
so payloads.
Response.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So you could probably just change it to that.
And that would be something like this.
What other types are there?
JSON payload.
JSON.
All are payloads except for the. They are JSON.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather we're
It's not
able to
arbitrary
return.
JSON though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe response
I'm
is
hoping
generic.
response lets you do that, like return a thing that is JSONifiable.
It's generic on a T.
Let's try it. Hopefully it's just a replacement for the current response type we're using, like a drop-in replacement.
So bring this.
I don't think you even need that, Rob. Like we're already returning a response. We're just going to change where
So
the response.
is it returning, changing what we, the return type?
No, I mean, I think it might just be changing the. Well, yeah, it's changing the return type, but like we're returning a poem response.
Yeah.
Oh, a poem result. Shoot, sorry. Okay, I had this wrong in my head.
Should have brought me both of them up side by side. So
So can a response be fallible?
poem results.
Take a look at the API for response. After a good rotation.
I guess that's true. We should rotate.
Maybe it can be a response that has a result in it.
Yeah, I'm a little lost.
We all are.
Yeah. Should we rotate? Okay. Mob next.
Hand command to you, Rob.
All right, taking command. Don, could you take the helm?
App? Really? I don't see that there. What is it complaining about? Oh, just cool. So what happens if we just try returning a response that contains a result in it? That probably
Look,
doesn't.
there's no erroring here, right? Like you can set the header. You can create a new one,
Mm-hmm.
and you can set the status.
Mm-hmm.
But what determines what possible status codes? Maybe that does not get documented automatically, at least.
There's a whole directory of OpenAPI examples in the Poem repo. Maybe that's worth looking at.
Yeah, just see some of it in use.
That's in examples/OpenAPI.
Custom
So just a
payload.
basic like response with error sort of thingy. That's the plain text example we've been looking at. Too simple.
Doesn't fail.
Yeah. Gotta be some failure in here. Custom payload, maybe?
Yeah, custom payload seems interesting.
Result. Res. I like the sound of that.
Where,
Oh no, BCS. I'm
this is
misreading that. I thought
BCS.
that was ARIA. Sorry.
BCS of Maestro. This is BCS is. What is BCS?
No idea.
BCS byte something from byte to byte.
Didn't they have like a BCS file at just data.bcs.
Might be
It's
worth reading the README in here
yeah.
because they were.
Purpose of this example is to show you how you can make your own custom payload wrapper types, similar to how you can accept and return JSON, for example.
Oh, this is an alternative to JSON. We don't want that. That's like some binary encoding something or other. Can to-dos fail? Like maybe you tried to delete a to-do and it doesn't exist. User's CRUD also sounds promising. Did they do any validation in here? Result. There's a result. Map error. Question mark. That's what we want. How did they do it?
Well, this is result from poem.
Aren't we already returning a result from Poem?
We are.
Okay.
But this JSON is from OpenAPI.
Okay. So we can return a Poem result, but it has to have certain things inside of it.
The T. So if we look at what is special about poem JSON, or is that it's all of these, they implement API response. We go to API response. We can see implementors somewhere.
Result TE, maybe.
This one, foreign types. Yeah, but the T would need to also implement API response. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Implementors, it's implemented for the types that provided by this crate. So if we have our own type, which we do, right? Like landed in, that needs to implement API response. API response has this meta, bad request handler, meta register. We need to implement this.
Mm-hmm.
Something like landed in.
And right now we are implementing something.
API
Right?
response for landed in.
Can you show me the thing we are implementing right now for landed in?
Whoa.
Like
What
there's a
are
place
we?
where we implement something maybe for result of landed in, right? Like where we build error messages and status codes.
Oh, it didn't focus. Focus. There is only these derives.
So maybe for result of landed in, like remember how we wrote some code that says like based on the type of error, this is the response status HTTP status code. And
No, sorry. Notice how I rotate.
All right, Don, take command.
Jeremy, take the helm.
okay,
Ooh, I'm blurry.
well, start.
Camera's not awake.
So I was talking about this thing here at the very bottom of the file. We implement response error for landed error.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a response, it's a response error, I guess. But I would imagine, I would hope that the code we're about to write, the implementation we're about to create, is going to have vaguely
So
the same
show
shape.
us the Poem Open API docs, please. There's a link to it in the current
Doc?
page. Yes. And find that trait API response. Go to that page, API
What's this
response.
macro versus trait?
The trait. Yeah.
Okay.
And API response. And take a look at implementations of foreign types.
Mm-hmm.
And take a look at result of T and E. It says the T needs to implement API response, and the E also needs to implement API response.
Okay. Yes. And so the result we're dealing with right here.
Landed in and landed error.
So the first thing is we're not returning a landed in, we're returning a JSON of landed in.
I think we won't be doing that anymore.
Yeah. Or is there a JSON response that we could use here? This thing, generic on T? What if we just changed it to poem open API payload JSON like that? And then, I mean, we probably need to implement some trait to make that happy, right?
What's not happy?
I don't know. I was expecting it to be unhappy, but it seemed to be.
I think what happens is that API response is probably implemented for so maybe it'll be that's a good question. How does it we need to like make it compile, then look at the documentation that's generated, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just because we're already implementing response error for landed error. I don't know. Oh, no.
Maybe it's
Landed
because of
error.
this line 99 that is not compiling.
Yeah. Okay. Impl API response. I don't
I
know.
noticed
API
that there's
responses
also a derive.
on landed in right here.
In the docs, when you were searching for API response,
Mm-hmm.
that seemed to be also a derive.
I don't remember where this was.
If you just go back once, or just search again for API response, then you'll see the derive macro, the second result.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're thinking maybe we can derive it?
Yes, I think this is how it's intended to be used instead of implemented manually.
So this would go on up here?
No, on the thing you want to derive API response for, and that would be, in our case, the landed in.
So we'd try
So
doing
remove line
something like
99.
API response that comes from here, and then remove that.
And then
Oh boy.
it needs the parameters.
This hashtag OAI thing.
Also, I don't quite understand. You see that derive open API,
Yeah,
like,
there's no struct.
what is that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was having a lot of trouble parsing that. Here we go.
It's kind of
Derive API response, and then it's an enum. Derive enum, enum, struct, no, enum. They really expect this to be an enum. Weird.
Well, the enum, it is an enum. The enum is a result.
Okay.
It's a result of JSON and the error.
Okay. So we shouldn't put it here. We should put this on a thing which is called the landed response, which we have not created yet.
I don't think we need that. I think the enum already exists. It's result.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll do derive.
I don't think we need to derive anything.
Okay.
Not this. What errors do we have?
So the trait bound blah is not satisfied.
To JSON.
So here's one. The trait bound result of JSON landed in blah is not satisfied.
Into result. Poem error into result is not
It's not
implemented for
able
that
to,
result.
doesn't know, this does not implement into result. That's what that's saying.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next. Oops, wrong place. Up there.
There seems to be some more figuring out of how to use this exactly, but it's on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some type mangling.
Shall we call it here?
Yes.
All right.
Cool.
Fun
Thank you
stuff.
for participating, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
happy to
you.
do it. It was fun.
Good progress. And thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, share it with someone you think that they'll be able to learn. Until next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.